So, when it comes to your threat management plan and procedure, it can be helpful to have a structure in place. And oftentimes, I will come into an organization and walk through how they're recommending the actions and next steps to be able to de escalate a situation, but also the justifications that they're making to make sure that there's clear and structured judgment as to why the next steps were suggested and based on the team's expertise, why those things are going to be effective de escalation measures. The piece that is also helpful is who is getting this information? Who is this plan being shared with? And how are we documenting how these interventions are effective in de escalating a situation? That notification process is particularly helpful because it also serves to remind employees and your leadership that steps are being taken to de escalate a situation. The final piece that I like to talk with organizations is what's your follow up and review after an incident has occurred? Oftentimes, we have emergency management situations that have after action reports, and threat management is no different in that. So, what is the follow up process, and how are we documenting the review procedures to make sure that we're continually improving? And even though every incident can be unique and different, we're still making sure that our plans and procedures are prepared for the next one. When I started working with an organization, I noticed that they had what most organizations have. They have protocols gathering dust, they're training, but everybody's rushing through it. And sometimes it's really just a virtual training scenario. And a crisis team that was only assembling only after problems exploded. Their threat management team existed, but only on paper. And if there was anything that was going on with a concerned coworker or employee that seemed concerning or threatening, maybe a shrug, but most people say that they didn't really want to get involved. And one of the things that I've seen in working with them is how we can make sure that we have a structure and process in place to both feel comfortable in addressing those things, feel confident in the ways that they are addressing those procedures and processes, and communicating out about how they're doing that so that others can feel confident in the process too. Many times we'll see when we start to see employees coming forward with concerns, not just gossip, not just paranoia or rumors, but really observations and reporting that through the proper channels that an organization has, that means that they begin trusting the reporting process. And it also means that it's coming from a place of support and not punishment. That right there is a cultural transformation, a shift from a culture of fear into a culture of care. They're not only caring about what's going on within the organization, but also how others in the environment feel and how they can care for them by reporting their concerns and then having threat management teams and workplace safety teams address them appropriately. What we noticed is it changed from a place of having it be something that was just a nice to have into a competitive advantage, something that other organizations that were similar in size and structure didn't have in place in the same ways that they did after we worked together for the last year. And that meant that they could actually also talk about that in their own circles and talk about some of the ways that they're addressing situations. Anybody likes to go to a conference or a team meeting or an external meeting and talk about the things that they're doing right, and that's going to give them that competitive advantage. What are they doing right as it relates to keeping their employees safe and their proactive threat management response? If you're sitting there knowing your safety program could be more than just a check the box exercise, let's chat. I have 30-minute strategy calls available where we can explore what transformation looks like for your specific organization without fear tactics, just proven proactive approaches. Click the link below to book your strategy call, and let's reimagine workplace safety as something that strengthens your organization, not just protects it.